Dallas Willard, he writes this: perhaps the hardest thing for sincere Christians to come to grips with is the level of real unbelief in their own lives. The unformulated skepticism about Jesus that permeates all dimensions of their being and undermines what efforts they do make toward Christ-likeness. The idea that you can trust Christ and not intend to obey him is an illusion generated by the prevalence of an unbelieving Christian culture. In fact, you can no more trust Jesus and not intend to obey him than you could trust your doctor or your auto mechanic and not intend to follow their advice. So what he's saying is, like, the mechanic could say your brakes are shot, but you say, okay, yeah, thanks for telling me that, and then you just keep driving and never fix your brakes. It's gonna crash, and it's gonna probably be an untimely death for the person who didn't decide to listen to the advice. Or let's say the doctor says, hey, you have this disease, this is the treatment you're gonna have to do, this is the medicine you're gonna have to take, and you say, thanks for telling me that, doc, but and then you just don't follow through with the advice. And he's using that as an analogy and a metaphor of, like, that's how a lot of Christians in the world can be, is like they hear the words of Jesus, but they don't put them into practice. So it's, the whole idea in James 1 where he says, don't be a hearer only, but be a doer, like follow through with it, because what good is just listening if we're not going to obey it? So if we don't obey the words of Jesus, if we don't obey the words of Jesus and follow through and have intentions for obedience, we're going to struggle with these things, or some of them, some of these things, and we're not going to, because we're hopefully have just some solidness to us, some character to us. But the works of the flesh are evident. This is Galatians 5:19 through 21. The works of the flesh are evident: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lewdness, idolatry, sorcery, hatred, contentions, jealousy, outbursts of wrath, selfish ambitions, dissensions, heresies, envy, murders, drunkenness, revelries, and the like. And of which I tell you beforehand, just as I told you in times past, that those who practice such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So we're going to either struggle with those first list of things, some of those things on the list, or we put the words of Jesus into practice, have intentions to obey, and that's when we reap the fruit of the Spirit, the peace, the love, the joy.